can tune either with the remote unit from your easy chair or use the push-button panel in the cabinet.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Petrini here. So, a lot of you have been asking me to create some tutorial videos, and I thought it was finally time to get going on that. So starting off, I really want to talk about how I became a videographer. I am self-taught, I never went to school for it, I never took classes in college for it. Well, I did take a few in high school, but that was more or less just to get out of taking like the hard classes. So, continuing, I'm all self-taught, and what happens there is it's been a lot of just trying new things out, learning from a lot of mistakes and just building on them, and then watching a ton of YouTube videos. So that's where I want to bring you guys kind of the same constructive program that I've watched on YouTube for the past year and a half, and it's really helped out tremendously. And we're going to be getting into a lot of different things. So this video is going to be more of the basics of all the equipment I use and the equipment you should invest in, but other tutorials I'm going to get into is going to be lighting, lenses, how to color grade, how to add special effects, how to choose your music, how to edit to the music, work on drones, maybe some gimbals and stabilizers, things like that. The thing I mainly want to do for you guys is just to be able to help you improve your skills tremendously to where your production value is skyrocketing and you can just be creating tons and tons of content at an awesome expertise level and be making a living off of it. That's the main goal. So this is going to be my segment on like the top 5 to 7 things you will need as a videographer to succeed. First one's obvious, you need a camera. So the camera I use is a Sony a7S Mark II. This is a little bit more expensive in the price range, but honestly there's cameras all over the place that can film in high quality. Even your phone can film in 4K now, so like anything you need is pretty much at your fingertips. But if you want to obviously start getting into a more high production value, you need to invest in a good camera. So the Sony, at a price point of around $2,700, it's a pretty good investment. One, because it films in crisp 4K HD, slow-mo is awesome on it, incredible low light, and that stood out to me to be one of the most better all-around cameras. Alright, so next you want to invest in some lenses. So the main lens that I use is a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. This is a Sony Grandmaster lens, so this shoots at 2.8 aperture. And the main thing you want to take into consideration is lenses, their value is unlimited. When you buy a lens, the value of it doesn't really go down unless you break it, obviously, or get it wet or something like that. But when you buy a lens or a used lens, you can probably sell it for around the same price. So the main thing with lenses is that you want to invest good money in them because they're going to last for a while. You want to make sure it's a lens that has the perfect amount of variability that you need for most of your shoots. With a lot of cheaper lenses, they cap out around 4.0 aperture, and that's good, but you want to make sure you're getting the 2.8 aperture lens so you can get that awesome blur bokeh effect. I know there's a little bit around me right now because the lens I'm using is a 1.8 and it's pretty far away, so it's doing a pretty good job. So another lens that I use is this 15mm ultra wide Samyang. You can probably see the little barreling of the lens, and that's how you get that ultra wide effect. But what I use this mainly for is pictures and real estate. Real estate, you want to make sure you get a wide lens because you're making the room look a lot bigger than it actually is. And I know that's kind of like cheating, but that's how most videos are. You're making something way more cooler than it actually is. So the next thing you want to make sure you get is a tripod or some type of stabilizer. So tripods, they're great for shooting interviews, real estate, pretty much anything you really want. Hyperlapses, time lapses, all the stuff that I use it for. I bring it to mostly every shoot. So the other thing I have on top of it is a slider. Sliders are very useful when you want a nice, elegant, soft shot and get that nice, slow pan. So now with stabilizers, there's two types. There's like the Handycam, GlideCam stabilizers or gimbals. So I have both, and they have different uses in my opinion. So the Steadicam I have is the Flycam 3000. This will run you about $100, and if you know how to use it, you pretty much just put the camera right on top, all manual, and you get the shot. The other option you have are stabilizers. Now there's the two-handed stabilizers that are like this. I don't really like those because they're just too bulky and they're kind of hard to maneuver. So I have a crane stabilizer, it's a one-hander. Pretty much you just put the camera on here. It's machine powered, so it'll keep the camera completely steady no matter what angle you're shooting. The main difference though between these two, and I'll do a video, is that this is $100 and the gimbal is $600, and the two-handed gimbals are around like $1,000. That's where the price point is, and these always work. Next thing we're going to talk about is microphones. Microphones are probably one of the most important things for every video. If you're only using the microphone on your camera, you're not going to be picking up good quality audio, especially for interviews, anything that you want to sound natural. The main thing with videos is people don't mind bad video, but the main thing that people will mind is if you have bad audio. And 10 times out of 10, you go to any video and if it has bad audio, you'll probably hate it. The main tools I use is a Zoom H1 microphone. Now this is like a shotgun mic that you can position anywhere you want. You can plug mics into it. So when I'm running interviews, I have a lav mic, and what this is, you just pin it right to the person's shirt. Done deal. Also on top of my DSLR, I have a shotgun mic. It's a Rode. Rode's probably the best audio company out there, so highly suggest you get a Rode. One hugely overlooked item on videographers' list to purchase is lighting. Lighting, I have it on right now, and without it, it would look like this. Doesn't look good. Shadows everywhere, just doesn't look good. With it on, it looks great. I have lighting on this side of the face, this side of the face, and then if I had a third light, it would be right above me so you could see kind of the glimmer in the hairline. The main thing about lighting that no one really understands is you can use it in every single shoot. And whether it be in a gym, at an interview, real estate, adding lighting will change the way the video is perceived. So you can add one light on this side of the face so that there's shadow on this side, and it kind of creates a different effect. The lights I have, they're 2-point lighting set. I think it was around 200 bucks, and they're pretty simple LED lights. You can go more and more expensive with lighting. There's light systems that are controlled by a remote, which are very, very useful, but obviously the price range in those will go higher. But I would say out of all of the things I'm talking about, lighting is not as necessary because there's tons and tons of alternatives where you can get those little mirror discs that just pop out. I think those are maybe like 20 bucks, and then you can reflect the lighting, but you need people to do that, or a good place to put it. And then also you have sun outside, so you can easily get natural lighting on any of your videos. You just have to be good about finding it. So the last main thing I want to talk about is the computer and the equipment you use to edit. So I have a computer I built, and I also have a MacBook Pro 15-inch, the one that came out in the spring with the little touch bar thing. So depending on what you're doing for video, if you're traveling a lot, you're definitely going to want to get a laptop. If you have a home studio, definitely want to make a computer or buy a Mac Pro. But the thing is, with a Mac Pro to this, I think a Mac Pro is around like $8,000 now, and this probably performs up to that, if not better. And this probably cost me around $2,800 to make. So you definitely want to figure out or find a friend that knows how to build a computer and just soup it up. I'll eventually do a video on all the specifications on this. Next, one of the main points of creativity of making videos is your editing software. And your video is limited to what editing software you use. So there's very beginner and basic editing software such as iMovie, Windows Movie Maker, GoPro Studio, all of those. And then you can get into the more advanced softwares, which is like Adobe Premiere, which is what I use, and Final Cut Pro, which is only on Macs, but also another good program. Those two cost money. There's also Davinci Resolve, which is a great free program if you're looking for a more professional studio program to use for editing. But for me, I use Adobe Premiere because it comes with the whole suite. So that's After Effects, Photoshop, and Lightroom. Now, with After Effects and Premiere combined, you have almost an unlimited amount of effects and special things that you can do with each video to give it your own style and creativity. And that's where a lot of successful videographers thrive, is just the creativity that they put into the video, as opposed to just the creativity that they're using with filming. And when you combine both of those, you're going to create an awesome production. So the main thing I want you to take away from this video is that equipment is variable with expenses. Obviously, you don't want to just put all of your money into it, which is kind of what I did. I saved up, but I researched a ton, and I already knew what I wanted and what types of videos I was going to be making. So I made up a big list, bought mostly everything I needed to go full-on production studio with it, and went from there. But a lot of people, there's renting that you can do. If anything, you just keep building your arsenal of equipment so that each shoot you go to, your paycheck goes towards another lens or another piece of lighting or something like that. So it doesn't have to be all at once. Just make sure the equipment that you buy is meant to last for everything that you're going to be doing in the future. So thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing a ton of more tutorials, especially on like the Connecticut video coming up. And that'll be a multi-part video. I'll be doing a lot of videos on just equipment comparisons, drones, everything there is to know. So stay tuned.